Stone Reaper, how are you? Good news. It's good news. We'll stop the music now. And well, it was good to have a little music to start it out with. My heavens. Let the prisoners assemble. Is that what they're letting us do now? I recently read a couple of reports. They arrested this person who opened a salon, gave her 7 days in jail, or him 7 days in jail. And, meanwhile, they're letting, I don't know, burglars and assaulters and maybe murderers out of prison. And they're throwing people who open up a business to make some money to feed themselves in prison. None of this is making sense. None of this is making any sense at all. I see bad things happening. This is upside down to the extreme. Now we're getting violence with the upside down. So I'm glad you're doing good, Stone Reaper. The name of the game is to not worry about this. Keep your head down. Let this psychosis pass. We're in social psychosis, mass psychosis. It is mass hysteria, and it's not getting any better. It's just not getting any better. They're doubling down and doubling down. Yeah, see, that's it, New Era MGTOW Monk. That's it. That's it. I don't care what they're doing out there. I don't care. They're putting people in jail. It doesn't matter. Where you are free is you are free in your mind at all times. I suppose I can blow your brain out with a shotgun or something, or a frontal lobotomy and not a bottle in front of me. But in any of those other cases, you are still free in your mind. And you have to kowtow to the Emperor, because the Emperor is holding the gun right at the moment. But right now, we're in a great state of uncertainty. I see fluidity. I see things spiraling out of control so that they don't know what's going on. I don't think they know how far this can go. I don't even think it'll stop with a war with China. I don't think that'll be the end. It'll spiral out beyond that. And so, but in any of these cases, wherever you are hunkered down and bunkered in, you can always, I believe, find this book online of I'll just put his name down. There's a book called The Consolation of Philosophy by Boethius, and that was what happened to him exactly. He was in prison, and he realized right there that the magnificence of reality itself, you don't need to be outside, free walking about, to understand that a man's purpose in life is bigger than his, smelling the roses in this particular or that particular garden. It's bigger than all of this. And so, they could take everything from him, but they couldn't take his mind. And he wrote about that, and it's a great book. It's a book of uplifting strength. He eventually got out of jail, but this was way back in the Roman times. He was in, I believe, the late Roman era, and he got in trouble with someone, and they messed him around. They messed him around a bit and threw him in jail. But he wrote the book, and the book's still with us. It's a great book. I read that fairly early in my study of philosophy. And so, anyway, but here we are. We are being imprisoned, and we're, you people are in the West. You're in prison in one way. I'm not in the West, although the country I'm in has having lockdown situations now, but not where I am. And so, we got someone coming into the Discord. Excellent. Good plan. Good choice. Are you there? I don't see any action yet. Anyway, I haven't tested out my. I got a new headphone set, and it may have screwed around with a little bit of the setup, so I haven't tested it out in the Discord yet. We'll do that in a minute. When you're ready to speak, let me know that you're speaking. I'm back on another page now. I'm not keeping track of all pages at the same time. Anyway, RP, how are you? Nice to see you here. Nice to have you in here. How's things in TO? It's getting nuts now, you know. That incident in Nova Scotia, you know, they're trying to take people's guns. Well, you don't have guns in TO normally, but a lot of Canadians have guns, and, you know, they're small guns, but rarely used. It's almost the gun ownership rate of America, and it's got 1/10 the murders per capita. So it's murders by guns per capita. Yeah. Yeah, new era. I thought you were in the Discord. Are you in the Discord? You want to jump in? By all means, say something. See if I can hear you on coming on my speakers. Otherwise, I got to put headphones on. Yeah. Hey, it's MGTOW Smurf. How you doing? Yeah, okay, getting ready. No worries, no worries. I just don't want to miss you. As I say, I've got a new little thing for the system and still trying to check it out. And no, we're into psychosis. We're into social psychosis, where you can believe something that's not true. In fact, it's cognitive dissonance in some way, that you have to believe something that you know is true, and you have to believe that it's not true, or you know that it's not true, and you have to believe that it's true. And then you have to go through life like this, and it's going to snap people. It's going to make them crazy. We're going to see stuff happening. And now we're seeing violence in the system. You know, the police, you know, locking people up, or I guess it would have been a judge, locking someone up in jail for 7 days for trying to start their business. And still, I haven't heard of anyone personally or anyone anywhere who has coronavirus, COVID-19. And, you know, I read the symptoms from the CDC. There's about 6 of them, and the symptoms from the WHO, there's about 7 of them. So we have 13 symptoms. But, you know, most of the symptoms could be anything else. There's nothing here that tells me it's not a pre-existing condition. Some 85-year-old man is not a case of COVID-19, whatever the case would be. You can't determine that. You know, just for one case, just what does it look like? What does this thing look like? I want to get some idea of it. But, yeah, so, and we're going to get to that. We're going to get to it right now, Stone Reaper. I've got an article here I'm going to pull up that I got it from this guy called C.J. Hopkins, and he has, I think, a website at consentfactory.org, and I don't know, he calls himself an author, and he is. You know, this piece here is really well written. I believe I have read one other thing by him, which I also thought was well written, and that would have been some time ago, and I can't remember it, but it's on the screen now. You know, you can read along here. We might just want to read this together, to tell you the truth. I think it's that good. We can just read this together. There comes a point in the introduction of every new official narrative when people no longer remember how it started, or rather, they remember how it started, but not the propaganda that started it. Or rather, they remember all that, or are able to if you press them on it, but it doesn't make any difference anymore, because the official narrative has supplanted reality. You'll remember this from the War on Terror, and specifically the occupation of Iraq. By the latter half of 2004, most Westerners had completely forgotten the propaganda that launched the invasion, and thus regarded the Iraqi resistance as terrorists, despite the fact that the United States had invaded and was occupying their country for no legitimate reason whatsoever. By that time, it was abundantly clear that there were no, quote-unquote, weapons of mass destruction, and that the USA had invaded a nation that had not attacked it and posed no threat to it, and so it was perpetrating a textbook war of aggression. These facts did not matter, not in the slightest. By that time, Westerners were totally immersed in the official War on Terror narrative, which had superseded objective reality. herd mentality had taken over. It's difficult to describe how this works. It's a state of functional dissociation. It wasn't that people didn't know the facts or that they didn't understand the facts. They knew the Iraqis weren't terrorists. At the same time, they knew that they were definitely terrorists, despite the fact that they knew they weren't. They knew there were no weapons of mass destruction. There had never been any weapons of mass destruction, and still they were certain there were weapons of mass destruction, which would be found, although they clearly did not exist. The same thing happened in Nazi Germany. The majority of the German people were never fanatical anti-Semites like the hardcore National Socialist Party members. If they had been, there would have been no need for Goebbels and his monstrous propaganda machine. No, the Germans during the Nazi period, like the Americans during the War on Terror, knew that their victims posed no threat to them, and at the same time they believed exactly the opposite, and thus did not protest as their neighbors were hauled out of their homes and sent off to death camps. Camps which, in their dissociative state, simultaneously did and did not exist. What I'm describing probably sounds like psychosis, but technically speaking, it isn't. Not quite. It is not an absolute break from reality. People functioning in this state know that what they believe is not real. Nonetheless, they are forced to believe it, and do actually literally believe it, as it is impossible as I know that sounds. Because the consequences of not believing it are even more frightening than the cognitive dissonance of believing a narrative they know is fiction. Disbelieving the official narrative means excommunication from normality, the loss of friends, income, status, and in many cases far worse punishments. Herd animals, in a state of panic, instinctively run towards the center of the herd. Separation from the herd makes them easy prey for pursuing predators. It is the same primal instinct operating here. It is the goal of every official narrative to generate this type of herd mentality, not in order to deceive or dupe the public, but rather to confuse and terrorize them to the point where they revert to their primal instincts and are being driven purely by existential fear, and facts and truth no longer matter. Once an official narrative reaches this point, it is unassailable by facts and reason. It no longer needs facts to justify it. It justifies itself with its own existence. Reason cannot penetrate it. Arguing with its adherents is pointless. They know it is irrational. They simply do not care. We are reaching this point with the coronavirus narrative. There. Well, I'll stop reading there because I think that's this is the key information, and I think it's stunning. I think it's dropped the microphone. Informative and important. I think what we've described here, what he has described, is that herd animals in a state of panic instinctively run to the center of the herd. We know that. And you don't care that it's irrational. You just simply don't care. You just run there. And this is what this fear has done. It is a state of fear which has turned the herd into the center. But I think we can take a different approach on this, accepting all of this as true and informative. But that who is the herd amongst humans? Well, it's women. They're the herding type. The men, well, they will occasionally herd and occasionally not herd. But what we see here, simps and white knights herding. And they're herding because the women are herding. Herding meaning running towards the center away from the fear. Not looking at the fear, not challenging the fear, not going out with your fucking spears and attacking whatever is attacking you, but running with your tail between your legs into the center of the herd for protection. And what's been done is that somebody has done this, I believe, at some point, knowingly, knowing that they were going to break people from the reality of the situation through repetitive fear. And it's just keeping people in this state of panic, confusion. And then they are controllable for whatever direction you want to take them in. At this point, Americans, because they are cowering in fear in such great numbers, are up for anything. You can move them this way, you can move them that way. What you're not going to do if you're an evil son of a bitch is to let nothing happen from this. So somebody's going to do something. And I think at this point, it may be the vegans who won this, because, they're going to save the precious cows, and Americans are going to be eating crickets and soy. Oh, the crickets and soy, and the crickets and soy. Who do we have in here now?
Preach, brother, preach.
We got somebody here. I think we got an echo going on.
One.
Hey, it's MGTOW Music. Monk Music on YouTube and MGTOW Music on Discord. How are you? Okay. We got a bad garble here. Why don't you jump out and jump back in?
Okay.
It was. I'm not sure what that was. I'm not sure if it went through to the men in the chat. Did you hear MM? Did anyone in the chat hear MM? He came on. It sounded very garbled to me.
Yeah. It sounded okay to me.
Okay, Saifu?
Maybe it's accident a little bit.
Yeah, you got to turn off, Saifu. You got to turn off the web page. I think we got an echo coming through from you.
Okay, how's that?
Okay, that's good. Let me see. I'm going to change my my setup here. I'm going to go on off of speakers. And let's see if I can do this.
Rule factor authentication.
Okay, we'll try this. Can you say something? Monk Music. Monk Music, can you say something? Oh.
Hello, can you hear me?
And why don't you try saying something else again? I just turn my headphones on. No, I'm not getting anything. Let me try one more time here.
What's after?
Nothing happening. And,
It was pretty good how you could count your toes.
yeah, there we go. I got sound now. Okay. Yeah, I can hear you. I don't think you're garbled now. Or not as garbled. Hold on, let me see. Keep on talking. Yep. Yeah. MM, you're coming in garbled again. You're still coming in garbled, and I think it's you. Sifu, you sound fine. How are you tonight, Sifu? Good. Not too crazy where you are? Yeah. And it seems semi-normal where you are? Oh, okay. Yeah, I know, and that's nuts. You know, uh, it's a bad world. I think it's a bad world. So yes, you would think people would wake up to this, but they're not, eh? Okay, okay, hold on for a second. I'll try to shut that off. Uh, we can only hear MV. I'm getting here. We can't hear you coming through. You're still coming in garbled. You're still coming in garbled. Okay, let me get out and get back in. Oh, look at that. Okay, I'm having trouble with hearing you guys in the Discord. Can we try this on Hangouts, Monk Music and Sifu? Um, what's that? Sorry. No, it's still there, and we'll try to bring it up here. And so I'm having some trouble here. There. Okay, we'll try here and try to bring it up, and we'll get you in here somehow. The Saifu, we'll get you in somehow. I'm gonna I'm gonna get out of Discord. Okay, and we're trying to bring up Hangouts and bring Hangouts into the picture. It's taking some time for Hangouts to get up for me, but we'll try to get back on. Thank you everyone for coming in. We're in the time of psychosis, and don't fear the psychosis because that's what they want. They want people to fear things. So the worst thing to do is to fear it, and don't fear losing your freedom because your freedom is in your mind, and they can take everything from you, but you know you're not alone. You're not alone in facing the insanity that they've done. I've looked into it. They broke modern science, and man, oh man, I can't get through to the to the Hangouts. Okay, I can't get to the Hangouts. It didn't come through. Let's try it again. We'll try it again here. I'll call. See if this is going to come on, and we'll try to call Monk Music and then bring Saifu on and others. Try to do it this way.
Yeah.
Ah, I see something's happening here, and I don't hear anything though. Not funny.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello, hello, hello,
I see.
hello, hello, hello.
No
hello, hello.
worries. We'll try this one.
Hello, hang on a minute. Let's try this video microphone. Communication. 1 2 1 2.
We'll try this one. Ah, there we are. We got it. Yep, here you're coming in nice and clear. There we got it. Jolly good. Yep. Ha ha ha! Jolly. And we'll just see whether the men in the chat can hear this. Monk Music's here. How are things in the UK, Monk Music? So we're told. But, yes. Bah, bah. Oh, it's a croc, is it? Yeah. Yep. Hold on. We just had an issue here. At one point they said they could hear you in the chat, and now they say they can't. So let's investigate this a bit. Can you hear MM now? Speak again, MM. There we go. So it seems to be working on my end. So Chris Martinson had put out some comparisons of similar genetic organisms, and what did he find? Yeah. 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 Okay. I'm gonna cut you off now. I believe they cannot hear you. Well, no, it was pretty good. It was a nice discussion talking about the RNA and how it gets into the cell and destroys it. And we've got a problem with a missing gap. And this is what they've been talking about for a long time. There's an insert section of this, which is strange. If you hear rain, it's coming from me. I'm outdoors, and it's raining outside, and it's nighttime. So you can hear me. People can hear me, but they cannot hear you. Let me, but I thought they heard you at the first, because I got the Hangouts here. And hold on, no, let me I got to change the address or something. I got to change the address. Okay. Why doesn't it have an address? Do you have an address on your screen? Like a HTTP number. Uh, yeah, in Hangouts. In the Hangouts. Uh, okay, I'm attempting to send an invite to my email. It didn't work. Can you send an invite to me? Yeah, send an invite to my email. Click on invite. The plus and the person up in the top right. Yeah, and send an email to my. Maybe I just send it. Type my name in wrong. There. Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay. Or hold. Yeah. If you jump out, then you can't invite me. So don't jump out. Let me jump out, and then you you send in an email to me or something. There. We'll try to sort out the issue. I have to put in a web address, and I didn't see it there. So this is going to be the second time we're trying to get the Hangouts working. And yes. Okay. No. And I'll try to answer it again. And I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you, but I don't see the address anymore. Well, I'm on, right? I'm on, so no, I I'm wondering why I was able to do it before, but I don't seem to have like up at the very top. It gives you the address of it, the web address, and I'm looking at the settings. I can't see anything. My God, how did I do it before? Oh, I know how I did it. Okay, let's get out of this call, and I'll call you on the browser. Okay. Bye. There, we're gonna do that. I'm gonna do that, and then. Okay, there we go. We'll try that one. and I send an invitation out, and there you are. You're on now, and you're on. I'm just going to ask the men in the chat whether it's working. I believe it should be. Can you hear now? He just came on, and I put the right address in. I believe I put the right address in. I think I put the right address in. Yeah, I put the right address in. So we'll get a checkout here, and I figured out how to do it. Okay. Very good. So we were talking about Chris Martinson, and he's a good person to look at for information about statistics generally, or that type of information, and he was looking at information about the RNE. Okay, sorry. Hold on for a second. We're still not getting you, and I'm not quite sure why. And I'm not sure why. I can see you here, and I can hear you, and I've got it linked up in the OBS, and we. No, it's Yeah, let's try it one more time, and I'm going to try the same thing and try it again. Okay, try it again. We're gonna try. Ooh, that was funny. That was still on. Shouldn't have been on. Oh, there we are. I see. Okay then. Okay, we're gonna try it again here, and I'm gonna need if it works this time, I'm gonna need an email address to invite people into the Hangouts. I think you're here again. Let me get to the OBS. And we'll do an okay there, and we'll try this. It should be on. We've got, whoops. Keep on talking. Yeah, I can hear you fine. Yeah. Green. Oh, whoosh, whoosh. That's very strange. Your GPS just started picking up my voice? Isn't that bizarre? I don't think I'm over there. Can anyone hear MM now? There we are. There's the test. Coming through. Can you hear MM? Can you hear MM yet? He was talking. He's singing now. Anyway, if this doesn't work this time, I don't know what it is. I sorted it out. I have a... It's not you. It's not you. It's the system. Let's try... let's get out of here then, and we'll try Discord again and see if that gets garbled, and we'll hope not. So let's get out of Hangouts. Okay, maybe try. Yeah, maybe. And that's a shame, because we had it working before. We had the Google Hangouts working before. I just figured out how to do it again, and it doesn't seem to want to do it. So maybe I have to, redo something with the OBS to get it to work. And, you never know with this stuff. This technology is finicky, and they're changing stuff, right? Discord is doing stuff to make it apparently better. But who knows? Is it better? Is it not better? And ultimately, there we go. I got the green circle there in broadcast 1. Anyone want to jump in? MGTOW Smurf, you said you wanted to jump in. We're there now. Hopefully MM's going to come in. And Sifu's here. Although we were having some trouble before. I don't know what it is with the tech issues recently. It's not good news. Joey Fagador's here. Welcome, Joey. Thanks for coming in. Everyone, whoosh whoosh. Are you still getting me on your GPS? Man, I don't know. This the world is getting smaller. It's getting stranger, and ultimately, it's becoming mass psychotic. People are believing things that they know are not true, and they're believing them in order to fit in order, not to stand out and lose friends or lose their job or lose this or lose that. And they're willing to abandon modern science. They're willing to believe, 6 impossible things before breakfast, just so that they can say that, yes, COVID-19 is real. It's really killing people. And yet, we're not seeing that. The only people who are dying is, old people. And okay, it's right that old people die, and it's not right that young people die, and they're not of this. They are of what they always have. One example of a sad case. This is not what we're talking about in a pandemic. It's not one case. One case is okay, an example, and then we want to see. We don't want to see, but for a pandemic, we need to see. Lots of people dying in that way. It's not every symptom possible. Yes, a lot of people are going to die of every possible symptom. But again, you want to believe 6 impossible things before breakfast. You can believe, one microorganism causes 1 million symptoms. Hello, Monk Music. We are back in action. Keep on talking. Please do. Yeah, that's smart. You're still pretty garbled. I'm trying to figure out what to do here. So keep on talking, Saifu. You sound great, I think. Men in the chat, can you hear Saifu? Yeah. 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 And how far are they going to push? They're going to push, until they can push no further, because that's what happens. Yeah. Oh, that's what it is, isn't it? Now, yeah, you're gonna need a. Okay, we had some trouble with the audio. We're still having some trouble. I'm trying to flick with some settings here. Can you hear Saifu now? Saifu, keep on talking, please. Ah, that's good to know. Yeah. What? Yeah, obviously. Okay, I'm gonna cut you off now. I'm gonna cut you off because I don't believe people can hear you. Yeah, I'm checking in here, and you can't. Bayman can't hear him. Joey says no. Smurf says nope. So I don't know what the trouble is. It's the standard setup that I've had going on, and it's worked great. I've just checked all my settings. Everything seems to be working, and yet we're not bringing people through. So I don't know what's going on. You're coming through clear for me here in the Discord, but the Discord doesn't seem to be working, and I can't get the Hangout to work, so maybe they have closed this down. So I don't know what to do. I would invite people to jump into Broadcast 1 and have a conversation there at any time. You can set it up somehow, but maybe we should look at changing the system until we figure out what's going on. This is not a good situation. I apologize for this. I don't know why it's not working today, and has worked well, both with the Discord and then with the Hangouts. So maybe I've got to close down my system and build it back up again, the OBS or something. Anyway, Saifu, if you can still hear me, I don't think it's going to run. today. It was interesting what you were saying, and I wish the men in the chat could have heard it. Oh man, jeez. But I think they're trying to close down some type of dialogue. They're trying to close down some type of situation. Saifu was saying how, you know, he's an older man, slightly older than myself, and he's just walking around, and he knows that there's some risk, and he knows, okay, but whatever the risk is, it's minimal, it's negligible, it's something I'm willing to live with and be human. I'm not going to cower down, and okay, people may look at him strange, but this is a man. This is what a man looks like. I believe this is what a man looks like. Yeah, there's danger, and the danger's not high. Look at the danger. The danger's only to people, to men and women above, 65 or 75 years old. Most of the deaths that they're counting as COVID-19 are 75 years old and older. But that's who dies anyway. And they're dying of every possible imaginable symptom that you can that people normally do. The comorbidities are identical to the normal comorbidities. So nothing here tells a man that he should take extraordinary measures to protect himself. No. If you're old and you're a little fearful, well, yeah, maybe so. And so, but for young men, this is an insane thing to do, I think. New Era, which is New Era MGTOW monk, is Saifu, and I was just talking with him on the Discord, and his risk is minimal. Yeah, I would say the same thing. I don't think anyone's died of COVID-19 because the CDC and everyone else that I can find really say that nobody under 19 has died of COVID-19. And so viruses don't choose, and they're searching around. They're trying to find some pathetic list came up with 20. Well, 20 is almost zero. And what they say is 200,000 deaths worldwide or whatever it is. They found 20, but they're all different, and this is not what you see in a pandemic. So this is generating the fear. This is just generating fear to create this herd mentality where you're no longer concerned with facts. You're no longer concerned with reality. All you're concerned with is running into the center of the herd, not to look different because you're expecting some animal on the outside of the herd to sweep you out. Well, we know the animal. Somebody tried to open a salon in Dallas, Texas. The land of the big freedom. Well, there's no freedom in Texas. There's a bunch of cowering old women. And I'm talking about the Texas Rangers, and I'm talking about the Dallas police. These people are cowering old women. To put someone in jail 7 days for opening a salon in America. God help us. And so, this is just fear. This is just fear manipulation. This is a political strategy. They did it with the weapons of mass destruction. They're doing it for all of these, actions they want everyone engaged with. And you're willing to be led anywhere if you're in the herd, right? You see the way sheep move. They move all this way, and then they move all that way. Well, this is what they want for humans. For some reason, they're trying to do this. But I don't think they can. And I don't think they can, not because of MGTOW, but because there are many men who will not be led in this way. They will go with the flow, physically, but in their minds, they're saying no to this. They're pretending to imbibe the cognitive dissonance, to go into the they say. Whatever they say is what you have to agree to, but in your heart you don't. In your mind you know it's crazy. But you'll just agree with them, have a beer, and then move on, And so, the Cold War was the same tactic. So they just generate the fear, then they can control the herd. So somebody is just trying to control this herd. But we are not herds. We are not a herd. We are men going our own way. This is not a movement. And I think all men underneath know they want to be men going their own way. They want to be MGTOW. They want to be men. And yes, at times you are in the party and you are milling about, and at times you're alone facing the danger. And at no time is it sensible to take an unwarranted risk for no value. And so this is what they want people to do. There's an extremely low risk, depending on where you are and how they do the numbers. We don't see what we should see in a pandemic. People go into hospitals, with their phones, and the police then, escort them out. Why? You don't want people to see it? It's quiet. There's not panic. There's not weariness in the doctors and the nurses. They're not weary and worn out. And yet, they do a flyby. The planes fly by in tribute to the frontliners. And then they give some story about some, emergency room doctor who killed herself at 45 years old. Yeah, well, single, unmarried. Yeah, okay. One. And we probably know why. But what we're getting here is this herd mentality. And it can happen to men too. You're in a battle. You don't want to be too far off on the flank alone. It's an unsafe position. So it's not that, it's not sensible to move in safe formations. But ultimately, we're not in formation. Each of us is going through life alone, and the virus is either everywhere or nowhere. And what's the risk? Are you going to cower in front of an invisible enemy? Well, it doesn't matter. This thing is not killing people. It's not mass killing people. And I do recommend going to Zero Hedge and picking up this article that I read some of. I think it's brilliant in the beginning. I think he makes the error that he thinks that old people are actually getting killed by this virus. But if it's killing selectively due to age, then it's not in reality. So he either is just saying that to sort of go with the flow a bit, or he's insane. Because viruses don't choose. They should be killing young people. They should be killing people in, whatever the normal numbers are. Yeah, old people are unhealthy, so if they get something, they may die in greater numbers. But not like this. This is just the normal death rate. And again, what the number nobody seems to hear is the total deaths versus the total deaths plus extra deaths. You never hear extra deaths. You just hear total COVID-19 deaths, but not total deaths. And so this is a fear tactic. You make this number, and it's going to seem high because every month, roughly 330,000 Americans die. Just every month, normal. You figure, whatever the population is, everyone's got to die in 80 years or something, right? Everyone. And so, was it 300,000 a month or 330,000? Somewhere in there every month. Up or down a bit due to weather, in the winter time. I think more people die in the winter. It's just nastier, Yeah, I think MGTOW Smurf, but I don't think it was planned for that. But I think the deep state and the globalists are going to try to use this to get Trump out of office. So never let a good crisis go to waste. But I don't think it was, designed, 5 years ago or 2 years ago or whenever, thinking, this will get Trump out of office. No. But when it came up, I think, then they were trying to do it. In fact, I heard one statement saying that the Republicans want the country to be open again for business, and the Democrats want it to be closed. So, or the rightists want it to be open, and the leftists want it to be closed. Well, we'll have to see what happens, but the damage may already have been done. You printed that how much money already? You printed it, and what's that going to do? Apparently, the share price for Ferrari is now the share value or the capitalization. The share capitalization of Ferrari is greater than General Motors. And that tells you that we are now in cyberpunk. We are now in cyberpunk. We just have, rich people living the life of luxury, poor people struggling to find enough money to feed themselves. We're going to have food riots soon, and then we're going to know. But again, Europeans are being prepared to eat insects, and Americans are being prepared to eat insects and soy. So this is the future, apparently. So it does not bother the wolf how many sheep there are. Yeah, that's it. So, yeah, this is an attempt to bring Trump down, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think there's the fearful are, probably going to, vote for Trump because he's the president anyway. And you're looking at Biden, and Biden's, he used to be creepy, but now he seems to be rapey. He's demented. There's a whole list of stuff. And, he's not going to win. There's just no way Americans would vote for something like that. And I say something like that, and, he's the worst, really. He's corrupt. He and his son were caught red-handed. And, well, you see, they did the same thing to Andrew Jackson, right? He tried to, and succeeded in destroying the banks, the big banks. And they destroyed the economy on him. And it looks like they're doing it on Trump. And he's not even attacking the banks. So, and Me Too is going crazy, this woman apparently had a couple of friends who said, yep, it happened. Mother was on the show. Yep, it happened. And Biden won't open his personal files, which he had opened before, just for somebody to search for her name. If it's not there, it's done. He's worried it is. He says, look somewhere else. Well, he's trying to control the narrative, and it failed. Mika made it fail. She couldn't believe what was happening. She couldn't believe it. Yeah. But not that I believe her. Anyway, that's the Anita Hill era. After Anita Hill, everything became possible. You look up what happened in the Equal Employment Opportunity Office. Their sexual harassment cases went through the roof, and nobody was afraid. Even before Anita Hill, nobody was afraid. It was just big news because it was a Supreme Court justice nomination. But stuff like that had been going on. That was 1991 with Anita Hill making spurious and scurrilous. Scurrilous? Is that a word? Allegations against, that nominee. Yeah. Scurrilous. I don't know. I see that new era MGTOW monk. I see that. Does anyone else see that? New era MGTOW monk wrote, one woman said she would vote for Biden even if he raped her. Does anyone else see that? Because I'm surprised that YouTube let it through, to tell you the truth. It's a horrible sentiment, I suppose. Yeah, well, you get what you deserve, woman. Oh man, yeah, the Anita Hill thing. That was 1991. New era MGTOW monk would have remembered it. I remembered it. It was bad news. Yeah, it was a he said, she said. He said no, she said yes about actions he made, which were okay if they were true. Why would you follow this guy? She followed the guy from one office to another. Screw off, he's a bit of a dork, if that's the truth. Didn't do anything, really bad. A few off-color jokes, maybe. Yeah, there's no off-color jokes now. There's no jokes, because any joke now can be off-color. Any joke can be off color. Somebody will take something the wrong way because they get an advantage. You know, we know that. MGTOW know that. MGTOW see a lot of things. And I think they see in this herd mentality, they see women's hand, right? The craving for total safety. And then the snowflake mentality, which is a women's sort of group dynamics situation where everyone is part of the group and we have to care for everyone in the group. And so if there's any threat to anyone, we have to, close it down for everyone. And talking about close it down, did anyone see that Neil Young video? He did a video in November. He actually did the song in November and then just put the video together recently. Shut it down or something like that. He was saying shut it down, and now they are shutting it down. Maybe he knows something. Maybe he sensed it. Maybe he had some link into some line of thought or something like that. Somebody whispered something and he wrote a song to shut it down. And I'm all for shutting it down and getting rid of the maniacs who were in government and the maniacs who were in the media. Absolute insane people, and the maniacs who want to destroy modern science. Get rid of those people. MGTOW music is talking? Can anyone hear him? Oh. Yeah, he may be talking. Yeah, can anyone hear him? But I didn't disable the Discord audio capture. You can only hear him on Discord, as far as I know. My headphones went off a minute ago. Okay. There, I've just muted myself. I don't hear anything. I'm not hearing anything in the Discord. I don't know anymore. Oh, there we go. I hear. Yeah, I'm hearing stuff from the Discord. Yeah. Anyway, to tell you the truth, in the Discord, I'm getting garbled, but they don't seem to be. So, but I can't seem to bring it through my OBS. So I don't know what's going on. I'm going to have to do an experiment now. So, this is not a good... yeah, good, Joey. I didn't think it was coming through. But Sifu Smurf, I believe, is in the Discord. So if you want to go into the Discord, they're hanging out there, having a discussion. So it's a good place to go. Apparently it's fine for those people. It's not fine for me. Sounds a bit garbled. But if you want an invitation, I'll get another invitation into the server, and then you go to broadcast 1, and then you're in. And just don't exit. You can go in anytime and use the server for whatever you want to do. Hopefully you won't do anything bad. I don't think you can do anything really bad, but don't try. If you know you can, let me know. We've got good people here. We've got good men, and we don't have to worry about that. Because what we know is that we're under attack, and men have been under attack for a long time. But now it's really, the shit has hit the fan. This is a shit hit the fan moment. So, I recommend prepping, and I went on a MGTOW channel and I mentioned that, and somebody says too late. Well, I say no, it's definitely not too late. It's never too late. You don't know what you need. It might just be one little thing to get you over whatever it is. So, at this point, it's not too late, and Whatever the cause of this is, I don't know. And whatever the truth of whatever it is, I don't know. But what we do know is that there's trouble. And this is not the end of the trouble. This is not even the beginning of the end of the trouble. I've heard people who are older than I am and perhaps wiser say that this is going to last a long time in the consciousness of the West. We haven't quite reached the devastation and destruction of World War I or World War II, anything like that. But we're not out of the woods. We could see that type of destruction. And so this is what, you should keep your eye open for. And again, the risk is there. It's not a zero risk, and I don't know what number to put to it. Is someone angling to create the fear, to create this herd mentality so that people are circling around, trying to protect themselves in amongst everyone. And this is... I opened a widget. Okay, yeah, we may be having buffering issues. Let me get to the settings and I'll redo my settings. I changed them before, and we'll see if this helps. And yeah, having technical issues. Apparently, a lot of people are online doing stuff, and so I'm fairly impressed that we can actually do anything here. So let's see if we can keep it going. What I did seems to have improved the situation. I now have an excellent connection. So I fixed that. Hopefully there's no great problem. But we're looking at a lot of people just trying to make it through the day. And at some point, a lot of people are not. At some point, the government's going to screw up. They're going to do something they shouldn't do. And trigger. They're going to trigger something that unfolds. I think there's a powder keg of dissatisfaction at this whole thing. Nobody knows anyone who has what would be the classic symptoms of a respiratory, acute, severe, acute respiratory syndrome. SARS, right? Severe acute respiratory syndrome. Oh, what are the classic symptoms? And so we don't seem to be getting this. And those people who are on respirators, pre-existing conditions. How many? I don't know, but lots of them. And so this is difficult for anyone to figure out the truth of the matter. We have not determined Cox's postulates. And so, if you don't know about Cox's postulates, it's one of the great ones, I got to say. Cox was a guy, I think, probably a German name or something like that. And I think I got it here. Let me see where it is. Huh. No, I think I might have moved it or something. Yeah, I moved it. Oh no, there we are. Cox's postulates, 1890. There we go. Oh, there we go. Bring it up here. Yeah, so, So it's a 4-step process where the microorganism must be found in abundance in all organisms suffering from the disease, but should not be found in healthy organisms. Well, just on the face of it, that's violated because 50% of people who apparently have the COVID-19 virus, which is SARS-2 virus, they have no sickness. There's no illness. So what's going on? You have the virus and you're not sick? Well, what in the hell is it? You can't have 50% of people not getting sick with this thing. That violates Koch's postulates, and it's been around since 1890, and it's done thousands of connections between microorganisms and illnesses in humans, in animals. It's like the gold standard. It's like one of the great things of modern medicine, modern medical science. It rests in large part upon these postulates. Then step number 2 is the microorganism is isolated and then grown. So you isolate it, and you grow this thing, then you inject it or somehow get it into a healthy organism, and you cause that disease. You cause the disease that you expect to cause from the microorganism in the diseased things, in the diseased animals or diseased humans. You expect to find that when you add it into a human, that the human gets sick, or you add it into the animal gets sick, or you put it in the cells, then the cells start to do what they do. The badness happens. And then when the badness happens, you just take this microorganism out of that badness and say, yep, this is the sickness, we found it again. We put it in, we got the sickness, we found it back. And that's Koch's postulates. And it's been incredibly effective for 130 years. And now suddenly it's not. Suddenly we don't want to do this. And we have every possible symptom almost. The kitchen sink symptomology of COVID-19. So, this is what's going on. Why are we abandoning modern medicine? So, anyone know about the papers? Then let me know. Please let me know about the papers, and we'll get this thing sorted out. But they're trying to drive us crazy. COVID-19 would be phase 2. I don't know about phase 2. Phase 2 is the isolated and grown in a pure culture. Ultimately, this is a definitional thing. You can't grow a virus in a pure culture. You have to grow it in a cell. So, whatever they want to mean by pure culture, it's just you grow more of them so that you have a lot of these, whatever it is. And so there's a amendment to Koch's postulates, which is Rivers' postulates, which deals with the oddity of viruses. But ultimately, you just make copies of it. You make copies of it. And so that you can experiment with it. So you get one, you make a whole bunch of them. That's it. However you do that, that to me is not of issue. So I don't know whether that's what you mean by phase 2. This is step 2. But so anyway, we're trying to, if we're getting sick from this, well, we should be getting sick from it. But apparently we're not, and we don't care to apply Koch's postulates. And because that would give us information that there is no cause and effect to this. What we have is, apparently we have a virus, and it gets into a lot of people, and then we have a lot of people who get sick, and a lot of people get sick anyway. And if you take away accidents, and you take away suicides and whatnot, murders, and you're getting about the same death age distribution as you would get from illnesses anyway. This is what you're getting. Nothing out of the ordinary. And if something's out of the ordinary, then we should be seeing it. We should be seeing lots and lots of bodies piling up. But we don't. We see the theater of that ship parked in New York just drove off, no people. And we saw the morgues out there. Well, that was just a test run. No bodies were put in those truck morgues, and the tent city. That never transpired. There was just, they set up the framework for a pandemic, and no one came. Oh man, and yet people are afraid. They're thinking, oh, we flattened the curve. No, you didn't. There was no curve to begin with. There was a bunch of people getting paid $13,000 a pop to write COVID-19 on a death certificate. And you think, no, it can't be like that. It can't be that easy for just the American Medical Association to enforce a decision that doctors are supposed to treat this as real, even though Cox's postulates has not been successfully conducted on this. Yep, that's it, Eggy Nuggy. You know a lot of people, and they know a lot of people, and nobody you know, and nobody that they know, like firsthand, has it. That's it. And you read these stories about people you don't know, well, maybe they are true, and maybe they did die of a heart attack, but that's not a symptom of COVID-19, is it? You know? And the joke is, and maybe, you know, there's some truth to these jokes, you know, he fell off the roof, yeah, died of COVID-19. Yeah. You know, anything, just to ramp up the fear, just so you can lock down people and destroy the economy and freak people out and maybe start violence and maybe start a civil war and maybe start a hot war with China. Meanwhile, you know, they're getting to the point, and I think, you know, unfortunately, MM was going to talk about this and what he had gotten from Chris Martenson. Was something to do with the evolution of this particular strand of viral RNA and how it's odd. It's just very odd. I don't know what he was going to say. But, you know, we looked at this, and there's that inserts, that whole insert section, and it's like, that shouldn't be here. So it looks like it's been engineered. And that's not odd at all, because they've been engineering viruses on a weekly, if not daily basis at some, if not many or most, of the 56 BSL-4 laboratories around the world. You know, this is just what they do. They just do this. And they write papers about it, and I read some of the papers, and I showed people these papers. And this is a crazy time to be alive. This is just insane. And it's getting crazier and crazier. You know, at the same time, people want to open up and just get back to normal, and other people are saying, no, you can't. And, you know, what's going to happen? Something's going to break. The dam is going to break. And when it does, it's going to be messy and stupid and, like, stupid and messy. And when it gets stupid and messy on top of confused and disastrous, well, you've got 4 adjectives, none of which sound good. So, oh really? Yeah, I don't know. It's nuts. You look at the picture of the hospitals; they're empty. Big halls and a hotel, and just they set up for a pandemic, and nobody came. And the only people who are dying are the normal people, and I don't know what happened in those nursing homes. You know, people die in nursing homes. Maybe there was mercy killings or something. Somebody figured they could blame it on the COVID-19. But it didn't happen. The only people who died in great numbers were people in nursing homes. Yeah. Which hotel? I don't know. They got hotels empty all over the place. My God. And apparently, you know, they're giving hotels to immigrants all over the place, and people aren't paying rent. You know, this is going to destroy a lot of things. My God, it's like, I'm just waiting for someone to tell me that, no, it's a dream, and we're going to wake up like that episode of Dallas. Yeah. They you know, they said one whole year it started to get crazy and stupid, and then they said, no, it was just a dream. And they went back to where the dream began the following season, and then the ratings tanked and they canceled the show. You know, people aren't putting up with that bullshit. Yeah. Yeah, thanks, Eggy Nuggy. I think that's it. They set up for a pandemic and no one came. That's it. And yet, in all of that, in that article, people know it. People know it. People see it. They don't know anyone. They're seeing just old people die. They know no one's coming. And yet, they believe it. They believe it, and they're cowering in their homes. The herd mentality. It doesn't matter what the facts are. It doesn't matter what the truth is. But, get the word out to MGTOW men, and we're not going to cower down to this. We're not going to stop, going the way that we should go, which is a way of sanity, a way of self-preservation, a way of freedom. So it's been a good run tonight. I'm going to end it here. It's been a good run. I say at least getting this off of my chest. That this article struck me as incredibly informed. I recommend you go read it. Maybe I'll put the link in again. That it's by C.J. Hopkins. And, yeah, I don't know, maybe, some countries are sort of sensible. Sweden was sort of sensible about this. They're crazy about other things, but they were sort of sensible about this. The UK freaked out totally. Germany freaked out totally. France is, of course, out of its mind. And Italy, what in the hell did Italy do? I don't know. I think they, I put it out in the very beginning that the countries with the highest numbers were those with political problems. Italy, South Korea, Iran, and then, enjoy the decline. Is that Aaron Clarey? I think that's his phrase, right? I use it all the time. I'm not a fan of Aaron Clarey generally, but he was spot on, exactly on point with a couple of things. That being one of them. This is the decline. It's not shooting yourself in the foot with a pistol. This is taking a bazooka and blowing off your legs. This is the destruction of national economies, of national trust. What's going to come out of this? Hopefully people are going to react and just, where are the young people with the bravery? They're not dying. They never do from illness because they're not supposed to. Old people are supposed to die from illness, and they're dying from the normal stuff in the normal numbers, and they're just fearing it up. And maybe they're letting this one fizzle. It's going to fizzle, but it's going to be painful until it does. So, men, enjoy the pain. Then, what they say, no pain, no gain. But get out there and benefit from this. Don't let fear stop you. Saifu was right. The risk is minimal. Do not draw attention to yourself for no value. MGTOW Ghost Level 4 is the surest path to defense. And make sure that all MGTOW men remain vigilant. There's talk about all these chameleon women out there. Well, maybe there are. But now's not the time. The laws haven't changed. Nothing's changed. The women are still toxic. Fish bicycle. No. It's in their hearts. They know that that's true. Why? Because they're in a herd. And when you're in a herd, logic and reason and facts don't mean anything. So that article not only applies to the coronavirus, it also, applied to the, weapons of mass destruction in Iraq and to the Nazis and to feminism. They're all the same thing. This is all the same playbook. You just pummel people with fear and outrage and all of this sort of emotional stuff. This is a gynocentric war we're in. And all the shit happened when these women with their brains thinking stupid got in positions of power. And that idiot Neil Ferguson from the UK, look him up. He was the guy who made so many incorrect predictions about deaths from the swine flu, the H1N1, all of it. He was way off, way off, way off, way off. And he's way off on this one. And so they didn't fire him for being incompetent. No, that wouldn't be good group dynamics. That would not be good feminist group dynamics. No, they had to, get him fired from his job or to step down after he was caught, sneaking out of lockdown to have sex with his married girlfriend. You can't write this. This is soap opera pandemic. This is soap opera world. We're like living in a soap opera. Anyway, with that being said, do not engage with this soap opera. Get your benefit, make your plans, be careful, keep your head down now, and don't be pushing too hard against the tide for your plans, because you may get swept away. But in every crisis, there's an opportunity. So make your opportunity, make your gains, and hopefully for the next time, we'll get this. We'll get these technical issues sorted out and get back up better than ever. And thanks for MM for trying to get on, and Saifu for trying to get on, and Mikdal Smurf and Joey Fagador for running the chat here. It was a great chat. Thanks, men. Take care. We'll end the stream now. Mikdal plenty in 2020.